Good morning, guys. Good morning. Is it still? It is still morning. It's been a long day. It's been a long day already. It's been a long day already, baby. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, really quick, I was actually gonna go live from the car because I gotta like move around and stuff today. And then I was like, Car Chronicles this early in Live Miss? I really don't want to do that. So, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just didn't feel the vibe today for the Car Chronicles. Not for the read anyway, especially after yesterday. For those of y'all who were in the chat last night, for those of y'all who were in the chat last night, y'all already know I was fighting for my life. Okay, I was just fighting for my life. So, I kind of wanted to come live early today, just to kind of put some good energy out there, hopefully. Just to like spread some awareness and shed some light on certain things for whoever's gonna need it. And hopefully to pass on some good juju for mi gente. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who's at work. I'm turning on the screen now for the chat so that I can see it. Like I said, shout out to everybody who's at work listening. Shout out to Headphone Gang. And we're going to be pulling today. We're going to start with the African Tarot. And if I yawn 1,000,008 times, just know your girl been working really hard, okay? We're going to start out with this bad boy right here. This one. There we go. I may switch at some point because I have the Zodiac one. I have the Unknown, the Wild Unknown. I have the Rider Waite. I think it might be in one of the cars. Actually, I got to check for that. Hi, Unique. Good morning. Good morning, Christina. Good morning, fam. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay, good. I knew that it was gonna kind of like cut off the sound when that call came in. And that's my fault, because usually I put a setting on the phone to stop the calls from coming in when I'm live. And because I just did the reading for the members and jumped into the live, I forgot to put that setting. But anyway, so what I was saying was that, Jess, you were? I told you I was going to do this. You should make breakfast. There's some turkey bacon there. Bye.
What?
Word.
You want eggs?
If you do, it's gotta be like a little bit. Anywho, what I was saying was, oh yeah, the thing went mute. So I was bugging a little bit. It kind of took me back because I just told you I was filming for the members. In that reading, the Devil card came out, the Knight of Pentacles came out, and that was kind of the players that we were talking about in the reading that I just did for the members. And so now the cards that came out is the Ace of Wands, the Magician, the Five of Wands, the Devil, the Knight of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Hermit. Somebody has a situation going on that they are not happy with. The thing is with the Hermit card, and I was just saying this kind of to the members, the Hermit card didn't come out for the members, but this was along the same lines. I don't think somebody's being vocal. The King of Cups came out for the members. So I don't think somebody's being vocal about the fact that they're not happy with how something has gone. The thing is too, I wonder if someone, it almost comes over to, someone doesn't want to say it because they don't, it's like if I say it, it becomes real. And so I don't want to admit, even to myself, I don't want to admit out loud that I put all the energy into something and it still isn't something that I genuinely feel comfort with or feel comfort from. This doesn't have to be a relationship at all. You know, I always tell you guys that this could be in any way, shape, form, and fashion. A friendship, a family dynamic. Like this, there's definitely a feeling here of discomfort. Something isn't something isn't in alignment. Something isn't in alignment with you specifically. Something definitely feels. And I think I've been trying. It's like I've been trying to put energy on top of more energy, on top of more energy. I keep trying to make sense of things. I keep trying to accommodate. I keep trying to fix. I keep trying to make sense of. I keep trying to just do and try different ways to hopefully, you know, make things better, to smooth things over. First of all, I feel like there's a lot of resentment amongst whatever this is. It feels like a lot of resentment. It feels like a lot of, because I think someone's putting so much in. Again, this doesn't have to be romantic. It could be. But I feel like there's so much being put in from one part. Queen of Pentacles, y'all know. If y'all been with me for a while, y'all know Queen of Pentacles energy. I usually read her energy as damn near borderline codependent, because of how much she gives. She gives and she gives and she gives and she gives and she gives. And it's from a genuine place, usually. But the problem with that is that too much of a good thing can also be a bad thing, right? And so she gives so much that she stays without for herself. So the resentment builds up. which is what I'm tapping into here. And I also feel like this is playing out over time, because the Knight of Pentacles, again, my OGs, you know, the Knights for me represent a long time, a long time. So this is, and Pentacles, right? Knight of Pentacles, this could also be like over the span of a year specifically for someone, where it's like there's been so much resentment. I also feel, they keep showing me the yin and the yang. So this is like someone, someone went from one extreme to the other. I don't think that someone has admitted to this out loud. I don't think that someone has allowed themselves the space to even make sense of what it is that they're feeling. I think someone has internalized this. It's like, okay, again, I'm going to use a romantic situation as an example, just because, like I said, it usually makes sense when I do it that way for some reason. A lot of people who watch tarot watch for that aspect, that dynamic. So I'm just going to use that as an example. But again, for the millionth time, keep in mind, it doesn't have to be romantic. This could be playing out amongst a friendship. This could even be playing out internally. So you go from one polarity to the other. You go from the honeymoon phase of a relationship where everything is rainbows and everything is butterflies and everything is all good and you on a high, and you never had anyone treat you this good. You never had anyone love you this much. You never had anyone show you off in this way. You never had anyone respect you to this capacity. You never had anyone put you on this pedestal that you've always known you deserve to be on, because you're a genuine person, right? And so you have this energy, and so because you're being given so much, it's no issue for you to give so much back, right? And so you're putting in, but you're putting all your chips in this one bag, because it feels, it's this, someone's like, I never in a million years would have thought this would be this. Someone now is saying, like, I never would have thought this person would have went from being a best friend to an enemy. I never would have thought that after, because I shared everything. I shared everything with this person. I gave everything to this person. I was going to say me and the members, which technically, yes. The reading I was just doing for the members, I was talking about how when you first start dealing with someone, especially if this is romantic, right? You start to deal with someone, and throughout the talking phase, I don't know why people do this thing, where women specifically do this thing where you share, you overshare what you've been through, how you've been hurt, what you've overcome, the capacity that you were brought to, the darkness that you've been in, the ways that you've been affected. Just all that you share, everything in the beginning. And I think the intention, I think the reason why people do this, the reason why specifically women do this, is because the thought is, I'm in this genuinely, you should be in this genuinely, you have no reason to not be disingenuine, right? And so I'm just being an open book because you can trust me. I'm lovable, I'm trustworthy, I'm being this vulnerable so that I can, from the beginning, prove my worth, essentially, to you, whoever it is, the person is dealing with. The point is that you do this, and in doing this, especially, and it's not always, right? Because if you're dealing with someone who's genuinely invested, then they won't obviously use your weaknesses against you. The problem is that not everyone is genuine, collective. Not everyone is built like you. Not everyone is like you. And so sometimes, most times, you do this and you share your experiences, you share your life, you share what you've been through, what your kids have been through. Bless you! What your kids have been through. You share the pain, you share the tribulations, you share all the things. Little do you know that those things are all being jotted down so that the person you're telling knows how to navigate, knows how to manipulate, knows how to find their way in. because it feels like someone was at a really high, and I feel like over time someone's true colors started to show, which we talked about this a little bit yesterday too, where I was saying, and I've always said this, I've been saying this for the longest, especially on this platform. Patterns don't lie. And if you look far enough in the, like, if you look back at the facts, even in your own life, your own personal lives, friendships, relationships, everyone who has been disingenuine, anyone who has had ill intentions toward you, their mask always falls off around the 3 to 6 month mark. I always say that. People who have ill intentions, they can't keep up the charade longer than that. Whether it's a romantic partner, whether it's a friendship who's envious and grimy or has bad intentions. Even if you don't find out until a year later, 2 years in, 5 years in, once you start finding things out and you start doing the homework and you start going back and looking at how things didn't make sense and what things were funny and what things were weird, it will always start back at the 3 to 6 month mark. Every time. And so someone now, where we are with this reading, someone now has realized or is realizing, because they're showing me someone do like a side eye. You're really not the person that I signed up to be with, or you're genuinely not the person that you signed up for this job to be. Like, we may have known each other since we were kids, best friends, but life, you know, the way life happened to me, life happened to you, and things have changed, because the person who was my best friend today, I don't know. There's a lot here that don't make sense. There's a lot here that don't add up. Something is no longer in alignment. Like, that's why I said it doesn't have to be romantic. This could definitely be family. This could be friends. The thing is that I feel like someone is, and the universe is going to keep doing this, because someone feels extremely uncomfortable. Someone feels uneasy. If this is romantic and you live with this person, someone feels like they're walking on eggshells. But you go from like a honeymoon to straight chaos. Like, from a honeymoon to hell in a nanosecond. That's the energy. That's the switch. That's how it feels. And so someone feels very uncomfortable. If this is a friendship dynamic or family, someone doesn't even want to like socialize with this person or these people. It could be a group of people. Someone feels like they no longer have the confidence to share certain things with people. This could also be because of this dynamic. I think it's like whiplash. It's like as quick as this went south, someone's making me feel like, yo, I can't trust nobody. Because this was at such a high. This was such a, like, I was so sure about this. I would have given everything. Easily would have given everything I had. So for that to be this, I can't give to anyone ever. Someone's going through that, which me personally, I don't feel like that's the answer. Refraining from certain things for a little while, sure, you know, taking a break, healing, working through, all of those things is good. But refraining, trusting no one, that mentality of me against the world, like, I feel like someone's quickly coming into that space that's not healthy. Like, little old you against the world, that's the energy you want to put out there. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. And especially because there are genuine people out there. You exist. And you know you don't move with fucked up intentions. I always say that. When people, especially women, come out of like fucked up relationships, like my homegirls, the people that I love the most, the women that I consider family, because I don't even feel like I have friends. I feel like it's just family at this point. Because there are relatives that I don't consider family. But anyway, that's a different story for a different time. We'll probably tap into that at some point in the live miss, but that's not what we're talking about right here. What I'm trying to say is that anytime my girls have ever said to me, even Izzy, at some point, as young as she is, hit me with the, I'm just never gonna do this again, and I'm not like, you know, it just doesn't feel safe. It's always something. It's never positive, and I always try to explain like these are lessons that you're supposed to take with you. You're supposed to learn from these things, and it hurts and it's fucked up, but it's never supposed to cut you off completely. Like that's never the answer, because then you're gonna miss out on the things that are great for you, you know. And if you know that you move with such compassion and such empathy and so much love, and you're so genuine, you can't be the only one in the world. There's like 12 billion people on the planet. You can't be the only one who still moves that way. You feel me? And so, you know, is it a pain in the ass to be weeding through grimy friends and partners and shit? Yeah. But that's part of the journey. That's part of the journey. You know, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to... Three. So my thing for that is always like trying to help women specifically. I mean, sometimes men come across this way too, but in my experience personally, it's usually been with women who have this. Like, they go through something like this, and right away they want to lock in. They want to stay in this mode forever, long term. Like, they don't want to come out of it. It's fear. It's fear that keeps them in this energy, or that would keep them in this energy. And for me, my thing is always to be like this. You got to learn, collective, that sometimes you meet people. You know how they say you meet people. Sometimes someone's going to be in your life for a long time. Sometimes someone's going to be in your life for a season or for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know the saying, but y'all know what I'm talking about. And I feel like you have to move through life understanding that. You know, it's nice to sell yourself the pipe dream that something is going to be forever. But that's not realistic. And I mean, sometimes you get lucky, right? Cool. But for the times that you're not so lucky in the forever sense, you still get something. And if you have your boundaries, and if you love yourself and you respect yourself, then 10 times out of 10, the something that you get is beneficial to you. It's conducive to you, to your growth, to your ascension. That's why it's the Ace of Wands and the Magician. This is Spirit saying, like, you can literally recreate yourself 11 times over, 12 times over. There's no question about this. This can be done. Someone has to, first of all, I feel like someone has to be logical. Someone has to take their time. Someone also has to take their time with their Queen of Pentacles energy. Yes, you're genuine. Yes, you don't mind. Yes, you want to help. Yes, you're empathetic. But don't be so much of these things that you start to resent people and start to resent even yourself for how you're moving. Take that energy of the Queen of Pentacles and disperse it moderately, at a moderate pace, with the Knight of Pentacles. Give a little piece. You ain't got to give the whole cake. You know what I mean? Because I also have the Six of Wands. So this right here doesn't have to always be. Devil energy is always going to exist, because that's just the polarity. As above, so below. For everything that's dark, you have things that are light. We need it. We need devil energy in order to have the good things, right? So this is inevitable. And not just for you and in your story. This is inevitable for every one of us. The thing is that where someone has been so hell-bent on this energy, Five of Wands, the devil, Spirit, we started the reading with the Ace of Wands. That was the first card. The Ace of Wands, the Magician, first two cards out. That's Spirit saying you can transform this into this. Six of Wands. Six of Wands is achievement, it's success, it's forward movement, it's progression. It's also acknowledgement. You're also leading by example. So if you have children, you want to be the generational curse breaker. Not the one that tries it on for size and wears that boot for the rest of your life. You want to break the cycle. That's the whole point. And don't get me wrong, hermit energy is necessary. But again, too much of even a good thing can be a bad thing, collective. So don't do too much of that. You know, doing the internal work and doing the healing, the inner wounding, the inner child healing, all those things, the shadow work, all those things, like actually doing those things is necessary, but it's not designed for you to stay in that energy long term, is what I'm trying to say. Got the dishwasher running in the back, so it's kind of fucking with me now. I'm gonna pull a few cards from the zodiac before we wrap. I gotta eat and start moving. So today's gonna be a little bit short. But yeah. Like I said, I wanted to come on early today because if you went in the live yesterday, y'all saw me fighting for my life. And I kind of wanted to redeem myself and kind of put out some positive, more positive, good energy for the collective. Yesterday was heavy. Last night was heavy. Lord, 4 of Cups. I just was saying, I started this reading saying somebody feels like something is not in alignment. Somebody feels it, like they know it. Your body is always going to tell you first before anything else. Before any other confirmation, your intuition, your body tells you first. And it's funny because she's looking at this like, she's literally like, super. Did you just say Brispy?
Yeah.
I'm sick of you. Yo. Yo, sick of it. Anyway, this is good. The Wheel of Fortune is the first one that came out here. The Two of Swords. This is somebody was in the energy or is probably still in the energy of I can't change. The Wheel of Fortune represents change. The Two of Swords tells you that someone is in denial about something. Someone doesn't see something for what it truly is. You feel me? If somebody's like, I don't think I can change this. I don't think I can. You see how the devil energy is like in the reverse? The angel is in the upright. You see that? So somebody's literally saying, I don't think I could do that. I don't know if I could do this on my own. I don't know if I could move past this. I don't know if I can rebuild. Like someone's in that energy, but it's because they're operating in an energy that's not in alignment with them. They may be around people that are not in alignment with them, and so they keep hitting brick walls. They could be in a relationship with somebody who's not in alignment with them, so they definitely hitting that brick wall. They could be in a job. Hi, Shayna. Hi, Bermelda. They could be at a job where they feel stunted because it's not for them. This is not where they're supposed to be. It's not part of their purpose. It's not part of their journey. It's like when you're in a relationship with somebody and it's stale, when it's just like cycling bad energy and bad vibes and arguing and all the extra shit. Is like, it worked when it did, but the minute it stopped working, you have to come to that realization, right? And so when I said this was a good thing, we got the Knight of Wands in the reverse. Somebody was on the fence. I missed you guys too. Fashion Beauty, I missed you guys too. I think that's why today I was like, instead of leaving early, I'm just gonna go live early. I love live, miss. I love doing this. It takes a lot of energy, but I genuinely love doing this. The Knight of Wands in the reverse, this is the card you want to see in the reverse. This is the energy of, this for me, this card is the fuck boy or the fuck girl energy. This is like wishy-washy. This is an energy of a person who doesn't stick to their word. This is somebody who changes their mind more than they change their underwears. This is the energy of something that's around temporarily, always temporarily, never, always for a good time, never for a long time. That's the energy of the Knight of Wands. It's very in and out. To see it in the reverse, somebody's no longer going to be going back and forth on something. Or you can have someone in your life like that. You're no longer going to allow that access to this person. So either this is you, the Knight of Wands in the reverse, where it's like, you may not be a wishy-washy person, but on this certain specific decision, you may have been going back and forth. You're no longer going to do that with this in the reverse. For some of you, where you were dealing with someone who was in that energy, you're no longer going to allow them access. So either way, it's a good thing. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard to do. But still, somebody's going to get it done. Collective. I love you guys wholeheartedly, and I'll fuck with you guys the longest way. If anything resonated here, please don't hesitate to hit that like button. If anybody interested in the wish list, it should be linked in the description. If anyone who's interested in personal readings, I'm only currently doing personal readings for the Diamond members. And for my members, you guys should be expecting, I think, another video today or tonight. Like, today, definitely. But I don't know if it's going to go up in the morning or in the nighttime. I got so much shit scheduled out. I don't even know what's going up, where, when, how. I still haven't even, since I fixed my phone, I haven't even went on Instagram to, like, check off all the shit. I have things backed up that were scheduled on Instagram since last week. And I never, like, confirmed it. So it's literally just sitting there. So, there's that. I love you guys. And we'll be back tomorrow for sure. But depending on how I feel, we might be back tonight. Y'all know. This live miss stuff, we just be doing things. Either way, I'll have the link posted at least half an hour before time. And, yeah, make sure your notification bells are on. Thank you very much. Love you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Let's see if this is going to close out.